Hi and welcome to another tutorial from FM Tutorials. My name is David and today I want to show you a technique that I put together in order to make a barcode within FileMaker Pro. Now there are several solutions out there that you can pay for in order to make barcodes of various types. However, they can be very costly. You can spend anywhere from a couple hundred to several hundreds or even thousands of dollars, depending on how many users your system is going to have. So this is a way to create a free barcode generator, and all the resources can be found online, and I'm going to show you how to do that. All right, so the first thing we're going to do is open FileMaker, and we're going to create a new solution. And I'm just going to call it barcode generator. I do recommend for this tutorial that you get familiar with a little bit of HTML and JavaScript, because this solution does use the web viewer, and we're going to be using jQuery in order to create our barcodes. So the first step is we're going to define the fields in our database. We want to create first a table which is going to hold our global fields. So we'll rename that first table. And then let's create another one, which this could be our table where we hold our products, let's say. So we'll call this products. And each product is going to have a barcode. In our products table, we're going to add an ID field. And this is a number field, and I'll turn on serial number, and we'll use, let's say, 5 zeros. And then we turn on indexing. Okay, and then we'll give it a product name, so we'll create a field for that. And then we're going to add a category field, and we'll build our barcode. We will call this field ID number, okay? And this is a text field. And what we're going to do basically is create a calculated value, which is going to be the category and a dash with the ID number, okay? So that way at a glance we'll be able to see the product category. And let's uncheck this box which says do not replace existing value in case we decide to recategorize the product. And we'll turn on indexing for the category and the name as well if we want to do searches on them, and of course the ID number. Those are the main fields that we're going to need. And in our globals field, we're going to create a couple fields. So the first one we're going to make is called jQuery code, and that's a text field. And then we're going to create another field called barcode code. All right, and these are not going to be global fields. Now the reason we don't want to make them global fields really depends on whether your solution is going to be shared or not. If you are not going to be hosting this database in an environment such as on FileMaker server, you don't need to create regular fields. You can go ahead and set these up as globals because only one user is going to be accessing the data in these fields. However, when you host a file on FileMaker server, the globals are going to default to whatever was inside those fields before hosting the file as a shared solution. In other words, the last time you opened the file in single user mode, whatever you put in those fields, that's the value that will always be defaulted to in FileMaker. So that's why it's important to create your fields as regular fields, and then if you go to filemakerstandards.org, there is a series of articles about an agreed upon system for naming conventions and things like that. So for our globals, we're actually going to capitalize our titles so that we can easily see that they are global fields. And then we're going to make our second global. Okay, and the idea is that this table is going to have only one record in it. And when the system starts up, it's going to go to this table and copy whatever is in that one record into the globals. And that way we can update this information as needed, and it won't keep defaulting back to the original global setting when we were in single user mode. Hopefully that makes sense. So now that we've created our fields, we're going to press OK. And now we're going to go to our script workspace, and we're going to create a new script called startup script. All right. And the first thing we're going to do is go to our global layout for this table globals, and then we're going to set our global fields. The first one we'll set is our jQuery code global, and that's going to have the value of whatever is in jQuery. And then let's duplicate this, and we're going to do the same for our barcode code field. All right, and then we're going to go to our products layout. Okay, and let's save this script and close it. All right, and now what we want to do is go to File Options, and we want to run this script. So we'll go to Script Triggers, and on first window open, we want to run the startup script. So every time the file opens, that script is going to trigger. Okay, and that's going to set us up for what we need every time we use the file. Now, the next step is we're going to add some fields to this layout. This is going to be our jQuery field, and this is going to be our barcode code field. Okay, and this is where we are going to enter our JavaScript, which is going to be used in our web viewer. All right. Now I created one record, and so the next thing we're going to do is go to File, Manage Security, and we're going to create another privilege set for this database called, for right now I'm just going to call it regular user. And under records, the privileges that we are going to set for our regular user is ability to view, ability to edit, but we're not going to give them ability to create or delete this single record. Okay, and now under field access, we go to limited, and they should have the ability to modify the globals, but not these two fields. So those should be view only. Okay, now under products, depending on your settings and requirements, this could change, but for our purposes of this demonstration, we're going to give them full access to the products table. Okay, and let's click OK. And then we're going to give them access to view all layouts, view all value lists, and execute all scripts. And then you can set whatever extended privileges are needed. So we go back to security. I'm going to set a password for the administrator. All right, and let's create one more user. And we'll give him a password. And he is going to be part of the regular user privilege set. All right. Great. Okay, so now we have our script set up, and we also have created our fields, our layouts, and our security parameters. So the next step is we're going to bring up our web browser, and I simply Googled jQuery barcode because jQuery is free, and this is a plugin that I found under, it's located at jQueryscript.net. and here's the website. And this is a simple jQuery based barcode generator, and it is actually was developed by a user called ArtDomG. And so what we're going to do is use code 128 barcode, but depending on whatever you needed, you could use any of these particular types of barcode, okay? So hopefully you are familiar with jQuery. The first thing we need to do is load our jQuery library, and there's a convenient little link here, and if you click that, we can get the latest version of jQuery. So I'm going to select this and copy it. We're going to go back to our barcode generator, and we're going to paste our jQuery code into the field. Now, a way to get rid of the formatting is right after you paste it, press undo, Control Z or Command Z if you're on a Mac, and that will remove any of the CSS styling from that field so that you have just plain text. All right, and we're going to add to the beginning of this a script tag. Script language equals Javascript. Be careful not to make any typos. And then at the bottom we will end the script. And in the same way, we're going to copy the jQuery barcode code, which you will download here. And I've already pre-downloaded it onto my desktop. So we're going to open the minified file. And we'll copy this, and let's put our tags. And our end tag, and then we'll paste that in there. It looks like that's not formatted, so we don't have to worry about that. Make sure to acknowledge jQuery and ArtDomG for using their code. It's always nice to be acknowledged for your work. And let's go ahead and do the next step. Now that we have those loaded, we can open up our data viewer, which will only be available if you're using FileMaker Pro Advanced, by the way. And we can monitor our globals. And we'll close the file. And we're going to open it. And you'll see that our script ran upon opening, and we now have jQuery and the barcode generator loaded into our globals. So that's a nifty way to always load content you want to be in the globals without having it reset every single time. Great. Now the next step is we're going to create some products. So the first thing we need to do is we need to add a drop down for our categories. So let's go ahead and create that. And we're going to define a value list. And we're going to call this product categories. And to make it very simple, we will create 4 categories. And go back to browse mode. Okay, so let's add a new record. And we'll call it red shoes. All right, and we'll add another one. And we'll add a few more. Now let's create our layout that we're going to be printing. So we'll choose new layout, and we'll call this products printable. And we are using our products table, okay? And we're going to set it to print a printed layout and choose labels and press continue. And here we can choose what kind of labels we're going to be using. A very popular kind are the Dymo 30256 shipping labels. There's a Dymo printer. I believe it's called a Label Writer 400 or 450 that can print these. We can actually take a look at that. Yeah, you see, they're pretty popular, and you can buy these at Office Depot or Staples. They're very useful. I've used them on many projects. All right, so now that we have chosen that setting, we're going to add the ID number and the product name to this layout and click Finish. We want to center these, and let's align them to the top. And we're going to make them bold and make it a little larger, and we will make them uppercase. Okay, so if I go into browse mode, this is what it looks like. Okay, let's say that we're making labels for our boxes where these are going to be stored. Alright, so let's generate the image of the barcode now. So what we want to do is create a web viewer, and we'll click on specify and we'll get rid of this. So we need to generate the HTML and the JavaScript that is going to activate the barcode and print it. Alright, now there's an article. If you go to 6 Fried Rice, I just typed FileMaker Web Viewer and you'll get the article down here, 6friedrice.com. Very cool FileMaker blog. And at the bottom it tells you how to generate HTML. So this is really the key here, is you need to start your content with this string, data : text / HTML, comma, and then you can add your HTML. Now, to make this a little faster, I'm going to use Dreamweaver, Adobe Dreamweaver. You don't have to use it, but it's just going to save some time. I'm creating a new HTML document. We don't need this first line, and we don't need this either. So we just need the head and body tags inside the HTML tags. And we're going to add a div tag with an ID of barcode, and it's important that we use single quotes so that we can use this in the FileMaker calculation. And then we're going to add a script. All right, and let's copy this and go back to FileMaker, and we'll put double quotes and paste. And here in the head we want to add double quotes and our ampersand, and we're going to reference our jQuery. We'll put another ampersand and add our barcode code. All right, and then we want to go back to our barcode generator page, and we want to copy this bit of jQuery here, and we're going to paste that, and we need to convert our quotes to single quotes. And let's get rid of these comments. And we're going to change the type to code 128, and this string here is where we're going to put our ID number. So let's delete that, add double quotes and our ampersands, and we're going to add the ID number there. And the last thing we have to do is change the name here to barcode to match our div that we created. Now let's click OK, and we're going to uncheck these options and click OK. And if we did our job correctly, we now have our barcode. Okay, now I haven't figured out yet how to center the barcode in the web viewer. I've tried many times, so we're just going to have to kind of position it so that it is somewhat centered. There we go. That looks pretty good. Okay, and there you go. We have a nice barcode generated, and it's free. That's the best part. The way I actually put this together is I was looking for a barcode generator for FileMaker because I'm developing an application for FileMaker Go on an iPad, and I couldn't believe that somebody wanted $200 for a barcode generator. So there you go. I've saved you a couple $100. And at this point, we would then print our labels, and you're good to go. That's all it takes. I had a lot of fun making this one because it actually helped me as well. I wish you luck with your database, and hopefully this comes in handy at some point down the line. Thank you.